Welcome to another 52 Licks. We're going to do a little series here on underappreciated drummers, and we're going to start with one of the most criminally underappreciated jazz drummers of all time. That's Mr. Aloysius Foster. So we're going to check out a very cool lick that he does playing with McCoy Tyner. Let's check that out. I know, right? Badass lick. Matter of fact, that whole solo is badass. He just does all this like really cool stuff. Slick technique, lots of great phrasing, but let's just dive into specifically what he plays in that little double time phrase. So it's all just paradiddle diddles, and he's going to move between the snare drum, floor tom, rack, then back to the snare. I'm going to kind of do a truncated version of it. I like when I take a phrase, I like to take a phrase and find like my own like little version of it that I can insert in other places. The way he kind of works his way out of that, for me, I wanted to kind of put a period on the end of that sentence. So for me, I come back to the snare drum and end on the snare drum. So it's just a paradiddle diddle, snare, floor, rack, back to the snare. And then instead of playing the whole thing on a drum, he plays the very first left on the rim, or sorry, on the bell of the cymbal, slowly like this. That's the phrase that he does as a double time lick. For me, and obviously he starts snare to the floor. You can play that lick snare to the rack time. There's lots of things you can do. Another cool way to do it is actually to do it with both bells first. Like so. Now, one of the things that I struggled with when I was learning this is moving to the floor tom was a little unnatural for me. I had a few evenness problems. So what I did is I worked out a little pattern where I first just started by playing this. And got comfortable with opening up my hands, and then when I come back down, I was having a little problem getting the double of the paradiddle diddle out on the floor tom. So then I focused on that. So I stopped the phrase at the last stroke of that paradiddle diddle. Breaking it down in little segments like that helped me alleviate or kind of solve the riddle of some of the sticking things, because our hands separate, and then the left crosses back over from the ride back to the floor tom, and then both hands travel back up to the rack tom. It's kind of easy to get your hands caught up in there. So go slowly and work out some of those sticking patterns. I also think this sounds great in 12/8. As always, you guys know I like to tripletize things. The last thing I want to say here is that we've been doing a lot of paradiddle diddle, and double paradiddle stuff during this year of 52 Licks. That is on purpose. What I'm hoping is you'll get enough reps on a couple of these rudiments that you can clearly like start stacking them together and hearing all the different possibilities you can do. Well, I want a lot of the language we're working on this year to be able to flow in between each other, so it's easier to grab 2 or 3 of them at once, put them together, and make them usable. Okay, hope you enjoyed this. We're going to do some more criminally underappreciated and underrated drummers over the next couple weeks. Thanks so much. Good luck.